I mean, not on the phone, but where the phone was sitting. So we're all good. Hare Krishna. I know you've just chanted Vandeham Shri Guru. I hope you weren't quiet all that time. I saw Seva Rupari's lips moving, so I know that she was chanting, at least. Okay, here we are, and I give my obeisances to you all here on Zoom, on Facebook, and all of you who are seeing the recorded version. Pancha kalpatarubhischa kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. And we have Jivana Devidasi and her dove. And we've got Nadia in I was going to say Vila Govinda, next door to Vila Govinda, which means Govinda land in Ukraine. And Radha Sundari Devidasi Gangalila Didi Tungarasa Didi. She's on her way here today, I believe. So we're looking forward to your arrival.
Yes, Maharaj, Dandavat.
Dandavat. We're already having a festival here, and we had really quite a festival evening. Yesterday evening, we did Italian Zoom, and after the Italian Zoom, we had some very lively kirtan for a while. Animated kirtan with our arriving devotees leading, so we were very happy. Ananda Sundari was with us yesterday also, and actually Tunga Rasadidi was also with us, and Sevarupa. Yes, you were all with us on the Italian Zoom. And after that, then we had kirtan. All right, and Rupanuga Prabhu in his motor car with us, and Leela Moy Prabhu taking care of us all. Jai Jai. So I'll start by asking if you have a question, anybody. A question or a contribution, and both are welcome, as I still wipe up around me here. Hare Krishna. All is good. Just water. Jivana Devidasi, let us come to you. You always are prepared. Some contribution for us, kindly.
Well, since you offered if we had any question.
Oh.
So, and Dandavat to everybody on the call. You guys are terrific. Always look forward to having your association in this transcendental way. So sometimes, so we know if somebody, if we're in trouble or something like that, that's all mercy coming from the Lord, and we harmonize as we can. But what about when you see it going to somebody else and you feel like, wow, how did that happen to them? And how can I help them or adjust for them? Actually, I don't know if we can help another person really, but I just was wondering, how do we harmonize that situation when somebody else is going through so many difficulties? And just seeing if you had you probably hear and see a lot of that, and just wondering how you adjust it for yourself.
Well, one thing is, I think everybody goes through difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're not going through difficulties, we're sort of keeping our fingers crossed. How long will this last? Because the reality is that we're in the world of difficulties. And this is really one of the basics of our devotional understanding, that we're not living at home. We're living in the wrong country, planet, universe. We're just living in the wrong place. It's just not right that the living entities should have to again and again go through suffering. And so, as far as possible, we're going to try to do good for others in a substantial way, rather than just, oh, it'll be all right, don't worry, they're going to come with some pain. Well, we don't, yeah, painkillers is definitely going to help when people are in pain. But I mean, it's not just the temporary thing. We can try to help by getting professional help on in whatever department, maybe, the adiatmic, adibotic, adidavic suffering, the suffering that's coming from oneself, the suffering that's coming from others, and the suffering that's coming from the devas, the demigods, means, the suffering of heat, cold, and rain, thunderstorms, hurricanes, this, that, and the other. So natural compassion is to do what we can for somebody in the short term, of course, and if there's a fire or something, whatever that may be. But in the longer term, to help the adjustment to the environment, which is, we repeat it all the while, but why? Because Srila Guru Maharaj repeats it all the while. And the environment is actually meant to help us, wake us up, shake us up, prepare us for our proper home and living with our family. When we're antisocial and steal from others, how can we live in a family of beauty and charm and everything else? And so, we have to try to adjust ourselves in every circumstance. But like you're saying, how do we help others? And that really will depend upon who the others are. So overall, we'll try to do our best for everyone. And it may be whether they are apparently suffering, and many are actually are apparently suffering, or whether they're thinking they're not suffering. In both cases, we'll try to give some opportunity for them to increase their sukriti, to hear at least something, so that they'll appreciate hearing something about the name, about Gauranga, about Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think of what would be the answer for every case. Kind of isn't so easy,
Right.
because even to say chant Hare Krishna, if they have no faith, then what are they going to respond to such a sincere kind of request? We know the answer. We know the answer. You're suffering. You need to chant the Maha Mantra. But if then they say mean words about the Maha Mantra, that's not going to be helpful. Hare Krishna. And it is very difficult when somebody is caught up in suffering to see outside their circumstance. One person, I'm completely dressed as devotee, tilak, everything. And one Indian man one day, not very, 25 years old, so young man, we can say. And he said, come with me. I want to show you something. So, okay, I'll come with him. He said, here, I live just here, nearby. And so he took me. And then it hurt me so much that I shouldn't repeat it because I don't want to cause pain to others. But he said something very unfortunate, about the Lord and he showed me his father, who was alive, but he was just connected with tubes and masks and, all just flesh and bones, as they say, and definitely looking unhappy, staying alive in a suffering state. And he just couldn't see anything about the Lord there or anything at all. And he saw me as a man of God, and then he kind of took it out on me a little bit. But anything that you could say, it just didn't help it. He's already in this, this, of course, it was an extreme case, but he was already in quite an extreme view of, justice and injustice, and look what's happened. So every case is a little different, and I don't want to say hopeless, But in such cases, if they can at least, I suppose, hear unconsciously, if we say, you know, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, I don't know. But that's an extreme case. In general, we'll try to wake up. After all, we sing every morning, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago. You know, we're telling ourselves we're not awake to our real fortune properly. Sometimes through the fog and mist, we get some hint. Oh, look, there's a wonderful place over there. But we live in a land of fog, so the fog becomes thick again, and then we just take care of our own little environment that's around us. And the modes of nature, all of them are like fog. That's Guru Maharaj's example. And we think, oh, the mode of goodness, you know, eating good things, doing good things, and you know, doing meditation and all these things. We can say, oh no, how is that fog? But in some places, Guru Maharaj says that it's more difficult to cross than the actual obvious ignorance of, you know, Tamagun, Rajagun, you know, and then, oh, but Sattva gun, oh, no, that's a nice place to be. And that's the heavenly planets. It happens to be a nice place. But I'll be interested to hear what any others may have to say in a practical way. And I can think something here. We had a very interesting conversation yesterday. Well, I know some of you, you've seen that we have here Subhasini, world famous. She is famous because she's dear to Gurudev. That's how to be famous in this world. Subhasini, South Indian body from living in Ireland, and a trained medical person, and her friend who is South Indian body, or maybe North, I'm not sure, anyway, Indian body, and living in Ireland for many years. And she's a responsible person, and she engages she engages for the last few years in the first response she's on the switchboard. And for the emergencies that come in, she has to give the life and death decisions of what they're going to do before the ambulance gets there, this kind of thing. And she has to deal with the road accidents, those emergencies, which come out of the blue. You know, they were healthy 10 minutes ago, and they're now all broken up, in broken bones and everything. She's in no situation, but she also has to answer so many things about domestic strife and trouble and many things. And she says that you get wives whose husbands passed away 2 years ago, and then they're going through all sorts of trauma in the middle of the night. We have to send somebody around to like sedate them because they're going crazy. And husbands who lost their wives, and they just haven't adjusted. And she was saying it's remarkable how they're 80, 90 years old. They're seeing all of this around, and they just can't accept death. They can't accept that we're living in a place which is not eternal. Wow. And it's very interesting to speak to her, because she's caring for others, and is a caring person. She's not like a cold nurse. I'm sure there are no cold nurses really, but she's not like a cold nurse who just does a job and doesn't care about the patients. And we have seen some medical like a little bit cold-hearted things going on when you see suffering every day, but rather she kind of cares. And she also amazed at it all when you see from a devotional perspective. So she tries her best to do something with whatever faith they have in God, to get them to turn their faith to the Lord. And that is not within any ism. What are all isms? What is it all about? Everyone is searching for God. Or like Guru Maharaj said, and was pointed out yesterday evening here, that Guru Maharaj said, nobody can say that they don't want happiness, that they don't want beauty, charm, love, all of these things. Nobody can say that. They may say, we don't want power, we don't want money, we don't want opulence. But to say, no, we don't want happiness, that's not possible. And so that happiness is coming under the shelter of the Lord, when really he's at the center, not only in our extreme time of difficulty to call him and then, okay, I'm better now, put God back in the cupboard until we need him again. But if we can just understand ourselves and get others to understand, it is every time, every moment, duty of us, which actually is not a duty, except we have to make it our duty in the beginning, because it's so alien to us to be God-centered. Because since the moment we were born, it was me-centered. And you look at children. I mean, I don't have so much experience, but we do see, we've seen a lot of children in our lives. And we do see, in the beginning of the life, mostly it's the crying is for me. They're not crying for their other baby that's, their brother or sister nearby. It's me. So, we've got to change ourselves around, and as we are growing up, and grown-ups, we should be sensible grown-ups and not just grown-up children, bigger-bodied children. I mean, in the sense of still it's me, myself, mine. Wasn't there a song, something, me, myself, I, or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think maybe George Harrison did one like that.
Maybe. But I was so dull, I have to say. I mean, some people say, oh, I came to Krishna consciousness from George Harrison's songs. I was so dull, I didn't even know he was actually talking about God. I really didn't. I thought he was just talking about a girlfriend or something. I really did. So anyway, that shows you somebody of that nature may come and be accepted by the Vaishnavas within the family of Vaishnavas. That, we can say, is an indicator that there is hope everywhere. So one thing we could say, Jivana, is there is always hope in every case. So let's try to give Krishna the opportunity to work his wonders. Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, their opportunity to work their wonders on everyone. And maybe, Jivana, there's a quote here, I think, about the fog. Yes.
In the chat box. Okay.
Would you like to read that? It's from Priyanana.
Oh, Priyanana. Maybe Priyanana can read it.
She can. She's behind a flower. She was behind a flower. Where did the flower go? Oh, she's live. Oh, you're in the temple room in the middle of Siberia.
Oh my goodness.
In March. Oh no, in April. Okay. Priyanana Devi. She's in the temple, beautiful temple room in Tomsk.
You want to read that, Priyanana? That would be awesome.
I think that's a no.
Sorry,
no?
dear, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the puja, so please
okay.
read.
Okay. No problem. We can read that.
Jivanadi, over to you.
Okay. So Priyanana posted this about the fog from the Revealed Truth. Oh, wow. One of our favorite books. Knowledge from the direct experience of others. The scriptures explain that these are external forms of knowledge. They are like smoky coverings over the fire of the Jiva soul's pure conscious nature. Under the influence of illusion, the Jiva souls perceive the material environment through their mind and senses. And they also make so many misperceptions of that environment with their mind and senses. They easily mistake smoke for fog, ropes for snakes, and so on. If Jiva souls try to make conclusions about the inconceivable based on their sensory knowledge and mental experience of the mundane world, they will be confused and misled. The pratyaksha and paroksha forms of knowledge are ignorable for jiva souls who want to experience the inconceivable.
Okay.
Okay, back to you, Maharaj.
Is that it?
That was, yeah, that's the whole quote right there.
And somebody's put, oh, she's also put, the song is
Oh, she
I,
put this.
me,
Yeah,
I, me.
mine.
Okay,
She knows that song. Or about it.
We'll leave the song behind. But we want to be, I am yours, etc. Anyway, we're thinking of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song that you are my master, I am your dog. Do get the words the right way round, devotees. We've cited this before. Be aware of what you sing. Don't get into trouble from Gurudev. Even if others are leading it, you don't have to follow what they do. We have this direct experience of seeing Gurudev chastising somebody following in that way. Anyway, we all know these stories. Hare, they're not stories, all these events that have taken place. Hare Krishna. And by the way, just another angle about others and trying to give help for others. And that is when we see suffering of others, why are we allowed to see it? For us, it is a lesson. Everything is a lesson for us.
Wow.
And when we see unfortunate things, it may not be we're just talking about like physical things in the sense of the nursing and the doctors. But when we see unfortunate things of, people losing their temper, people doing this, doing that, doing wrong things, when we see this kind of thing, we have to say, oh, I'm being allowed to see this. So what's the lesson in it for me?
Wow.
So all of the activities in the world have more than one purpose. For the person who's, in this case, the person who's losing their temper and shouting and screaming, then they have something to learn. We can be judgmental and think, oh, that's them. I have something to learn. I'm being allowed to see it, so I should see it in the proper way. So there are many things which happen, which at the end of the day, from our standpoint, we have been put in that situation, so we must try to see the Lord's affectionate hand behind there, and that here is a lesson for me. And in Thailand, if you go to take a driving lesson, anybody here, maybe not, who went to been in Thailand and wanted to get the Thai license, which you need if you're there for more than 3 months, then part of getting the driving license is they make you sit and watch a video of road accidents.
What?
They have cameras on junctions, and I mean just fixed cameras. And so they have this footage of people jumping the lights and then being whacked by a car coming from. They make you watch those things. But why do they do that? They're not so that you can see the suffering of others and laugh. They're doing it so that you see what's happening, and you yourself have to learn from that. So by others doing something wrong, jumping the traffic lights, going through before it's green, or going through after it's red, examples like this, then, and overtaking on the blind corner, stuff like that. And the devotees, they're horrible, they're really nasty things. But, and also the devotees say, you have to watch. Oh, Priyanana, she's probably been through it. I think she's got her license. And I know you're doing the puja now, so think about Krishna, not about road accidents. But they also, I'm told that they monitor you. You can't just fall asleep in the video.
Wow.
They have somebody that keeps you awake. And if you don't go through that, you won't get your license. It's like a wake-up call. So the world is like that. Also, Priyanana Devi, she's now come, she wants to share some of these road accidents. No, she doesn't. They're terrible, I know.
No, Maharaj, but the thing is that actually it's so like you can memorize it and it affects not your mind but your senses. Sometimes now, last ad I watched, it was maybe some European or something, and it shows like, you know, perfect story, happy family. Father says to young boy, "I give you my girl, take care of her." And then like he drinks a bit and they got in an accident. And they show like dad is so like sad and so on. So it affects directly to your heart. And then it's like not just the mind level, but also the senses, emotions. That's how it works.
Aha, okay. So now we're getting more illumination. Perhaps we need to ask the Thai driving department if we can have a copy of their video. Wake up call to what the world is really about. You know.
My.
Hare Krishna. Anyway, but that I'm giving this as an example that they deliberately show unfortunate things, and as we hear, and more than that, they show how, you know, the whole families and people who are in distress, how they're affected. So from our point of view, of course, prevention is better than the cure. That is everywhere. And so prevention of suffering means we'll come to turn our face towards Krishna consciousness through devotional activity. So to wake up others, but to wake up ourselves, it's a two-way journey. We can't sit and say we're aloof to all of these things and that, oh, yes, we really got our clean Krishna consciousness. We have to be aware of all of the things that we have to work on, but we must put others in the right direction as far as possible. So our Thai video, it has got definitely some value. That, I mean, some of the example and how the world is like our instructional classroom, like the practical classroom. And Sevarupa Devi, she's posted something in here, and maybe she's not doing puja. Dignity of the divine. I'm sure she does do her puja every day. She's also Indian DNA and brought up and born in devotional family. Good opportunity. Dignity of the divine servitor. Present position, brightest prospect. Answering the question, what is the miracle? This we were exactly discussing yesterday, so very appropriate. So let us hear from Sevarupa. So what is the miracle, the wonder? And Yudhishthira Maharaj answered. So this is Srila Gurudev relating this in his own special way. Sevarupa Devi.
Dandavats Maharaj. Sorry, your line's a bit choppy, so I wasn't catching everything.
Oh. Am I
Was it only-
choppy am I choppy to everybody? No.
Nope.
No. Oh, it's just mine then.
Yeah, you're special.
But we can hear you clearly.
Yes.
So please continue. Yes.
Okay. So, Dandavat Pranams. This was a reminder. I heard it from a talk from Bhakti Lalita. It was a podcast, and it was also on this pastime. And I happily found it from Dignity of the Divine Servitor. So this question was asked, what is the miracle, the wonder that Yudhishthir Maharaj answers? Always, all mankind as well as all jivas in this world are passing away. Everyone's father passes away, their mother also, and even their juniors sometimes pass away first. But all are thinking that they will not themselves pass away. They are making houses for themselves, accumulating money, food, etc. They feel that they will stay for such a long time, but it is only like a passing show. Everything, whether old or young, is passing away right before their eyes. It is gachatiti jagat. It is passing away day by day, but all feeling they shall stay for a long time, maybe not forever, but anyhow for 80 or 90 years. No one else has time, but they have time. That is the miracle. What wonder can be greater than this? I think this is to be the greatest miracle.
Excuse me, I'm still waiting for that message of how to stop sneezing when on air. Hare Krishna. So I know when I sit somewhere warm, I'm on the veranda out the back here, because all the temple is full of devotees and more are coming today. And all the devotees know that the world is a passing show, so they're trying to be devotees. So it's good to be in a full house of, or full ashram of devotees doing something sensible with their lives, like preparing. But another thing is that it's not just preparing for passing away, it's preparing for a proper life, this body or another body. So it's not, sometimes we've been accused, and by people who we think very sensible and like that, we've been accused, oh, you're very selfish. You're trying to prepare for something you don't even know about, the future. What about today? But the devotees do prepare for today. They try to make sure we're going in the right direction, and with those who are going in the right direction. And so this is actually, part of having heard these things and repeatedly hearing of this temporary world and how we need to make ourselves fit for the upper world's association. So we need to try to be able to fit into those who are aspiring for that in this world, and those who want to set their mind, their consciousness, their activities, everything right in this world. So we want to be with them. And we always encourage others. As Guru Maharaj and Gurudev would always say about association, like the main thing for us is association. And if we can associate within that atmosphere that Gurudev and Guru Maharaj very much want us to maintain 24 hours a day, and if we can associate in that atmosphere and try to imbibe that, then wherever we are, we can attempt, we can try, we can be encouraged to lead a proper life, properly conscious life. But Sevarupa, this exact part we were thinking of yesterday in discussing about what is the greatest wonder, because it is the greatest wonder. Hare Krishna. Rupanuga Prabhu, we have to ask, where are you going? Not in this life, but just now in your car.
I'm prepared for it all. But where I am right now is in Western Australia, where I don't think there is anybody to associate with, but I'm here on work, so that's why I'm hopping in and out of the car. And yeah, I'm still working.
Your nature, you retired, sold your business, but your nature is to do something, and that is the nature of the soul. So anyway, well done, Rupanuga Prabhu. And while working, you see,
Yes.
Rupanuga Prabhu always trying to keep some contact, some hearing, and in the different Zooms coming in, whether he knows the language or not, he's popping in to hear the Hare Katha.
This is how I associate. I was thinking, Maharaj, that this is, when we're supposed to associate, and I understand the importance of that. Thank goodness, thank Krishna for your Zooms, because this is how I keep in association and in a learning phase. I always learn something. Hare Krishna.
And thank Krishna for the association in the Zooms, Prabhu. This is all. The Zoom is the instrument, the devotees are the substance, for sure. Yes, Prabhu, we can share your appreciation. Hare Krishna, Govinda, and Ananda Sundari Didi, she's just been with us, and devotees are coming, Ananda Sundari coming and going, and we hope that by the Zooms too, we can also have the devotees always with us. It's not a question of leaving, it's a question of continuing, but just in another room. Here we have living next door, Chinmoy Dev Prabhu and Doyamoy, but they have their own life, but they're living next door, physically. But every devotee can have their own life and live next door by Krishna's arrangement, as Rupa Nugu says. Thank God, thank Krishna. Some facility like this comes. So good to see you with us, Ananda Sundari Didi, very happily. Hare Krishna. Each of you, every day is a festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math for those who participate. So let us participate and not just say I'm a devotee. Yes, I'm in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line. I'm in this Chaitanya Saraswat Math. I'm this, I'm that. We have to be that. It's not just a signing on a page. It's, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to become healthy from within, in my nature, not to be a child any longer, not to try to utilize the Lord and the seniors, Mommy, Daddy, give me this, give me that. Sooner or later we should see, no, I need to see what do they want from me. How can I help? Can I help in the garden, Mommy? Can I help in the garage, Daddy? Can I fix your Porsche, Daddy? Can I drive it? No, can I fix it? We see how we can help the family instead of seeing that they're there to look after me. Hare Krishna. So Jivana, what was your answer to your own question? And maybe just restate the question, because some have joined us in the meantime.
I was just thinking how sometimes we see that people are having very much difficulty in their life, and sometimes it's hard to know how to help them. But a couple of things came to me when you were speaking. One thing is that we're to be able to see our own suffering and understand how to accommodate it by the grace of Guru Dev. We've gotten some idea, which is like a miracle in this world. I was thinking of how we say Om Agyanatan Randasya, because Guru Dev has opened our eyes. Sometimes to say that, I'm not really realizing anything, but as you were talking, I was thinking, actually, it's really a fact that like all of us in this room right now, to greater or lesser degrees, our eyes are a little bit open and a little bit understand what happens when they're suffering. And that point that you made, which is awesome, if it's somebody else's suffering and we're allowed to see it, there's something there for us also to learn. Sometimes you may be able to help someone and sometimes you may not. I usually find if somebody needs some help and I feel really unqualified or unable to really digest that kind of difficulty, if I have another devotee with me, that's always really helpful in dealing. So I'm not just dealing one-on-one with a person who's having a lot of difficulty. It's a few of us or a couple of us that are working on it. And then, like you said, there's also that point of someone has to kind of be ready to hear something, or else you just want to give them some affection, some prasadam, and give them some time to digest what they're going through. But the other thing I was thinking of when you were speaking was Sureshri. She just went through so many difficulties. She was in pain all the time, and they could never diagnose it. And also, she had their family, different things going on there that would normally throw somebody way off track. But she did not ever allow that to happen. She is such an example. And sometimes if we think, oh, this is difficult, we think, oh, we can't say it's difficult. There's, you know, we have examples, Sureshri, Ramai, what to speak of Srila Gurudev himself, that they tolerated so many difficulties, but they just maintained their focus. A man is known by his goal, right? We keep the goal, even when we're not there, it seems very far, but we keep it over our head and always aim for that. Those were just a couple things I was thinking as you were speaking there.
And I know this isn't exactly an answer to this question, but the thought that did come to my mind, some reflection. What's the difference between a hospice and a hospital? There's a different mood. The hospice is, everybody there basically has accepted the inevitable.
Mm.
A hospital is even the old person, like I mentioned about that person, all connected with wires and tubes and all sorts of things. They have this, they're grasping onto some hope. They're going to live a little longer. They're going to get better, something like that. But in my limited experience, but it is in the hospice, then people have accepted the inevitable. But this whole world, the whole universe is actually a hospice in one sense. We should accept the inevitable and do the best, knowing what's going to happen. And this is the very basis of Srimad Bhagavatam. Not, of course, not the basis of the teaching, but the basis of how Srimad Bhagavatam came to be revealed to the world. That through King Parikshit's misfortune, that he knows, like the hospice, he knows within 7 days or after 7 days, he's going to leave the world. So everyone in a hospice should be asking that question that he is asking. What's the best use of my time? Because I know I'm going to be going out of this body to an unknown place, essentially, within 7 days, within a few days. So if we accept we're actually in a hospice and we can't be cured of the disease of mortality, means you cannot make your body last forever, however promising the scientific world, advertises itself to be. And so with that kind of mood, we can also try to see, we accept the inevitable where we are. Let's use our time properly. But if you send someone who had like a minor accident, well, it's not very minor if you have a broken leg. I know there's a lot of pain, but if you send someone with a minor accident to the hospice, they may not appreciate it. So while we have a healthy body and a healthy mind, we should try to get better.
Yeah.
But getting better in the real sense means getting ourselves to be selfless and God-centered instead of selfish and utilizing God for ourselves, or denying him and thinking, no, I don't need him. And a lot of it is things have to be pointed out to us, and we can think, oh yes, so obvious we're not the body, it's so obvious this, that, and the other. But I can say that Krishna somehow had me not knowing any of these things, really, until 25 years old, when I came across Srila Prabhupada's book. And it just was so clear that he's pointing out so many things which we really should have pointed out to, should be pointed out to us. And when we see how we needed it to be pointed out for us to know that, oh yes, this is the reality, but there is a solution, then similarly, we can pass this on to others, whether they are apparently suffering or not suffering, and point out, look, this is your situation in the world. You know, a little wake-up call, as they say, and now look at this, at least try to discern, does this make sense? All of this basis of Bhagavad Gita. I mean, so many things we can, you know, now we're ready to start, aren't we? We're ready to say lots of things, but we do this, and everybody does this all the time when we're meeting people. And, you know, the word preaching, I know, doesn't go down well. You know, we know it, but the people reaching and pointing out and advertising, the world is full of advertising to say what we've got. And look at that, some of the adverts are so ridiculous, you know, for getting everlasting happiness and, you know, joy from this, joy from that. Just go down the central street in Milan, where, you know, you can buy, you ladies, you can buy a handbag for like $1,500. It will make you very happy. It's in the window of this shop, you know, all sorts of things. But the advertisements, we were walking along, I don't exactly remember the advert, but I said, look, they're stealing the phrases, the description of what is Krishna consciousness, what is Goloka Vrindavan. They're using those phrases to, you know, to try to just get money out of people for things which are useless. Anyway, we need to have things pointed out to us, but we had so many ABC things pointed out to us by Srila Prabhupada, by the devotees. And so we can help others by pointing out, you know, the ABC, as well as, you know, then the spelling of cat, dog, etc. And then the, you know, the increased message. And we're all somewhere on that line of learning the alphabet to learning what is the message of that alphabet. And this is our Krishna consciousness from the, you know, the very beginning alphabet of karma. You know, and now it's fashionable. We see there's a restaurant here called Karma Restaurant. What are they thinking? Hare Krishna.
Weird.
But, you know, karma has become into the dictionary, but do people really think about it and listen to the universe? Or, yes, sometimes, you know, we people, yes, I listen to the universe. I try to hear what the universe is telling me. Well, what about Krishna? What about everything? So we can help others by pointing things out. And if we can help others while they're in healthy mind and healthy body, it is so much, you know, it's so much, I can't say better, because they may not be as receptive, but, you know, we said prevention is better than the cure. So let's try to get ourselves onto safe ground and help others to be on safe ground. And is it Kulasheka, one of the great saints, they made that prayer, and that, dear Lord, please let me come now and come from my body now, while my mind is embedded in the stems of your lotus feet, something like this, a very beautiful prayer. While now I am remembering you and this wonderful time, please let me come to you now, because I don't know what I'm going to be thinking when my throat is choked up at the time of passing away, etc. Hare Krishna. And by the way, oh yes, Jivana may know him. The one devotee passed away 3 days ago now, Kanta Krishna Prabhu from Venezuela. Very healthy, very, very good kirtan player, mridanga player, leader, from long time ago. I don't know if he was Srila Prabhupada's disciple, but he was within the ISKCON movement and came still in the International Society of Krishna Consciousness in the real sense, but came to the shelter of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. We know him from, lively kirtans from long ago, and he just passed away 3 days ago.
Oh my.
After something, I don't know the detail, but something in the, I don't know, something in the head part of the body, which, passed away. So we are remembering, and we know another person who's about to pass away inevitably, and who is on life support. And the doctors say, well, actually, if they're at home now, maximum of 2 days, but here in the hospital, we can, we're doing our best to keep them alive. But you cannot defeat mortality. And what, our condolences to those who have to witness this. Again, see, witness, we are seeing it, they are seeing it. But then you do have to think, just to have a body alive, we have to think of the quality of life. And we must really try to do the best for somebody when they do have the capacity to change their mind with clear thinking, healthy. We need to give them some good nourishment for prevention of this world of birth and death. And we can't prevent old age and disease and everything. And as our devotee here, Purnananda, who works in the medical field, points out, you see all the teenagers in the school, they're all, full of life and all full of, their teenage life. But, all of them, he says, I can just see them in a few years' time, also with the pipes up their noses and wheelchairs and everything. That's what's waiting, maybe not for every one of it. If they've got 40 children in the school class, maybe not all 40 are going to have that, but many, and all 40 will not win the battle against mortality. Whatever the department, however it is, it will leave the world. So, hospice, in one sense, that we accept the inevitable, what's the best thing to do now? And hospital, in another sense, that we can get better. We can make ourselves so that we don't have to go through mortality again and again. Make this our last visit to the hospital. Hare Krishna.
Did Gurudev say that to someone once when they were saying how they just wanted to be with Gurudev? They want to make sure that they're with Gurudev next lifetime too. And Gurudev said, I don't want another lifetime. Let's finish it this lifetime. Let's just finish it and go back. And that's kind of how he addressed them. It's in one of the books. Someone asked a question and Gurudev answered it somewhat like that. Do you recall that piece?
More or less, but no, not verbatim.
Okay.
I think you presented the message very well. Yes.
I'll see where I found it. I always like to know where I found these things because that's important.
And some things, they're not in the books. And some things are not in the recordings. I mean, really, and then, we're actually cautious to say some things because, nobody can, verify. But we're right there with Guru Maharaj, right there with Gurudev. And, sometimes people can try and convince you never heard something. But honestly, we can absolutely know some things in our life that we certainly heard, and which, just so many life experiences. So there are so many things. Hare Krishna. And in the recordings, by the way, when you see the videos, the Chinmoy who is preparing so many videos, the audios which are widely circulated and available. And the same audio, just like we read the same books, the same audio we are hearing again and again, and more things coming out. So it's not just, oh, you know so much because you were with them, but we weren't. It is, okay, there are some things which of course, they directly being with them, which are extremely valuable, but there's extremely valuable also what is available to all the devotees with the good fortune who have come across where to look instead of all the other garbage. I mean, not everything is garbage, but the general garbage pile that is found in newspapers, magazines, however glossy the cover and everything else, however nicely laid out. But what's the message inside? Is there anything there which is giving really a solution?
Right.
News of home. It's good fortune if we can be attracted to that. Hare Krishna. Oh, okay. I'm just looking in the chat box if something had popped in there from our research scholars. Ananda Sundari Didi, would you like to say something? You look like you like to say something. Would you like to share anything with us?
Dandavats Maharaj. No, I'm happy just listening.
Jai. I'm a happy listener, by the way. I'm a happy listener.
Me too.
This is what I usually use the headphones for. But sometimes, I'm trying to be quiet. I forgot, because we are so surrounded by devotees, and so that's why I have the headphones in today. Nadia Priyadeviras is always ready to say something. She's making garlands early in the morning in Govindaland.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat all devotees. For me, it's so happy every time to see devotees. Now I came to Ukraine, not for long, but when I go out from Govindaland to Germany and help to my sister there. And that time I understand that to be with devotees and to be in the temple, for me, it's the best what I have. Our teachers and all our devotees from all the world. It's like a big family, and I understand every day that our family is very different, but all devotee very beautiful, and even sometimes when I don't understand what they say, but your smile, what are you doing? It's no, for me it's very I'm very happy that I'm here, this family, and every temple is like a home in Govinda or in Ukraine or other place, and also our goddess, our what we have in the temple, it's our center, and for me, it's I'm very happy that now I'm here because it's like you're always at home, and I I sometimes I can speak more, but for now I just say thanks for our teachers and thanks for all of you because I know that everyone doing very much and everyone love all of this, and for me it's I'm happy. So
We can see it is so also to see you. Your expression. Beautiful. All right. So what a beautiful way to end our very short 1 hour that we get a couple of times a week. And so very happily hearing such expression and very happily also sharing that sentiment with you all. And so now we need to continue in our world, and today we've got lots of devotees coming, and so we've got lots of things happening in Vila Govinda. And don't forget, Vila Govinda is very close to Germany and Ukraine. Actually, all over the world. It's very close to all over the world by now, isn't it? Within 24 hours, well, maybe 36 hours for one or two, anyone can be in Vila Govinda. Just see. But I know it takes more than just a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of getting relief from work and a little bit of that stuff called money. Hare Krishna, to make such a journey. We know it's a sacrifice to come. But for those who don't know, we do have Mohanananda coming today, world famous Mohanananda Prabhu, and Chintamani Devidasi and others coming. Oh, Tungarasa Didi, world famous Tungarasa Didi is coming today also. I think 5 devotees today and 2 tomorrow, something like that. So we have a festival running in Vila Govinda Ashram. Join us as much as you can, and if you have questions, we can also try to answer during the week. And Ganga Leela Didis put up a little heart. I think she'll be here in a few days too. And Dana, the devotees here, who was mentioning about you? Oh, I have to think. But they were saying, Dana, she should be here. And I said, exactly what I keep telling to Dana.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so sweet. I wish I was there too so much.
Just don't think about it too much. Just buy the plane ticket and come.
You're right. Stop thinking, just do, right? You're right. Oh,
You're in the devotees' hearts, Dana, as are each of you here. So
thank you.
happily, Didi, a big welcome. And of course, if any of you do suddenly decide to buy a ticket and come, do communicate with Munindra and Krishna Kanta, because they do have a little coordination to do on this side of the world. And
Of
if
course.
it was a bit lighter, I'd show you the tiny house that it was almost finished. It's got the walls and the roof and everything on, but they're thinking of ways of how to have more accommodation during the times like this when many come. So yes, Ananda Sundari Devi, she saw the tiny house just now. It's taking shape. Okay, dear devotees. Yes, Dana, very welcome. But anyway, there is one big house of Srila Gurudev's devotees that's called Planet Earth. And here we are, wherever we are, then we're in Srila Gurudev's house as long as we can keep our head and heart safely in the right place. Jai, wonderful Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai, wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rock of Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Wonderful Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai, our whole Sri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. All the present day, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. And of course, I did mention, I think, I was going to say Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, in case I missed him out. And to all the devotees present, all the devotees everywhere ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bom. And happy to have you all with us, and so happy that you're able to join us again today, and look forward to answering any questions if you have some time. And don't be shy to ask. Maybe next week I can make a note to ask you first, would you like to have anything explained? And we're happy to hear from you, because this is the back to basics. We want to have the foundation of our devotional life strong.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Dandabat and well wishes to you on Facebook, Zoom, everywhere. Hare Krishna.